farewell, Regilucky. You did great, and I'll miss you forever. Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Trogdor, and yeah, my hair is an absolute mess today. Yep, I know. Anyway, that's the thing. Welcome to the UPBA. We're in the 5th week of this league, which name I'm about to analyze and compute and hack into the admin's mainframe to find out that there's... Oh no, did Python 3.9 completely bork my thing? Oh no. No. Why would it do that? Why would it say that it's no macho? I don't have this. Oh man, I completely borked my entire UPBA algorithm after I updated Python. Well, I guess we'll never ever know for the rest of forever what this league is called. So you can blame Zane or Mid or Gray or any of the other admins on this. That we'll never know what the UPBA stand for. So let's just call it the unbeknownst prestigious booby association. That's what it's going to be today. Anyway, so we are in a league, we are playing a game, and we are facing an opponent. So momentarily I will inform you, our opponent is KJ and the Cleveland Indians. And my opponent has a scary team. So, I, Trogdor, for like the first time in a very long time, am on a win streak. I have won 2 games in a row. Hooray, yatta, we did it. But first, let me show you the team that we're up against. It's basically going to be really testing our ability to maintain a win streak. So my opponent's team that's not it. I'm looking in the wrong channel. Let's see. My opponent is Indeed. Yeah. Landorus, Therian, Kyurem, regular Kyurem, not Black Kyurem. That thing is borked, but regular Kyurem is still like Washington Rotom, Arcanine, Metagross, Zarude, Noivern, Passimian, Cinccino, Diancie, Quillfish, Morgrem. Yeah, it's scary. So you might say like, well, your opponent doesn't have a switch into Urshifu. Yeah, but he's got 3 Intimidate users. And I know Wicked Blow goes through those, which yeah, I had to like double check that before the game started. But still, that's like, it's going to be risky to lock myself into an Ice Punch or close combat to like, bop the Landorus or the thing that dies to close combat. Speaking of things that for which switch-ins don't exist, there's kind of a Kyurem right there, and Kyurem has just got nasty strong in Gen 8. I don't know how it suddenly just became amazing and good, but now it's amazing and good. And my switch-ins to a Specs Kyurem, like Draco Meteor Freeze Dry combination, they're not real. Like, I deadass don't switch into this thing. So that's going to mean that like my team's got to be a little bit on the offensive side, or I've just got to play my defense just right to get that thing down. But, there's kind of a Rotom in my way. There's kind of all of these things that just, it's scary. Anyway, so I had to come up with something pretty interesting for this match. And I think the overall team that I got is, number 1, pretty solid. Number 2, I'm confident in its ability. And number 3, if my plan goes well, I have a non-zero chance of winning. Anyway, let's take a look at it now, shall we? So let's talk about the first Pokemon that I'm gonna bring, which is TAUROS. So TAUROS, Ferdinand von Ayer, the TAUROS is this number 1? Yes. So TAUROS is interesting. My opponent's fastest Pokemon is the there's Cinccino, there's Noivern. So he's just got a couple things that are faster than TAUROS. But those are generally things. But basically what I'm trying to say is, given Tauros's speed tier, I think it is going to do exceptionally well. I am rocking the Life Orb with Sheer Force. And the job of TAUROS is similar to the job of a few other things. The job of TAUROS is to bamboozle him a little bit and then kill Landorus. You might be thinking, how does TAUROS kill Landorus? Well, number one, Body Slam does a lot, but so does Ice Beam. Try that one on for size. Okay. So I'm hoping that TAUROS can do damage. And if he switches in on the Landorus, like a defensive Rocky Helmet, stupid rocks Landorus, I don't know what kind of Landorus is going to bring. Defensive, like, bamboozles me, like, Double Dance can just win. Choice Scarf U-turn just and anything in between. That Pokemon is just so good, but it's nothing compared to a TAUROS rocking a Sheer Force Life Orb Ice Beam. I also got Body Slam, Iron Head, Throat Chop just for the general team itself, but if I don't stupidly let this thing go down, I can put in some work. It can really put in some work. Like, the switches to Body Slam are few and far between, and like I said, like, you know, it's kind of that cheeky Ice Beam that I'm rocking. What else? Jolly outspeeds Zarude, Sheer Force, Life Orb. Cool. Oh yeah, and I went with Jolly instead of Naive because I just wanted to make sure that Ice Beam could kill just no matter what, which it pretty much does after like a round of rocks. Speaking of rocks, I'm bringing Shrek 2, the Swampert. That's not Swampert. This is Swampert. So Swampert is rocking the Rocky Helmet. Just in case my opponent is dumb enough to bring this in Chino, I have a Rocky Helmet for Tail Slap. Like, yeah, that's not going to happen. Otherwise, it's good chip on things like Arcanine. It's good chip on things like Landorus going for U-turns. And wow, I brought Rocky Helmet on Swampert more often than not. Rocks, Avalanche, Flip Turn, EQ. Pretty standard, just offensive rocks lead for Swampert. Like, I can get slow Flip Turns, I can get slow Avalanches, and I'm relaxed nature. So yeah, I'm purposely rocking less speed so I can get these slow Flip Turns, so I can get maximum damage with Avalanche, among other things. So yeah, its job is probably just like get up rocks and do things, and if Cinccino is there, which I doubt it's going to be there, just bring it down to 1/6 health after one turn. Anyway, who's next? Yes, Speedwagon, Regieleki. Regieleki has all the speed in the world. It has the ability Transistor and the item choice specs, which means I haha the entire team minus Landorus. Notice that TAUROS can kill Landorus. Notice that Swampert can kill Landorus. I want that thing dead so that Speedwagon can come in and just haha everything. Like, I really want Regieleki to do well. Please be a good Pokemon. So that's Speedwagon. Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Ancient Power, Body Slam. I'm not going to be clicking the last two moves. Like, come on, let's just be real. Thunderbolt, and just in case I want to, like, you know, be... No, I'm going to be clicking Thunderbolt. Like, once Landorus goes down, I'm just going to start clicking T-Bolt and just do that until I win or die. Next up is Bear Force 1. So Bear Force 1 is my Urshifu, and my opponent switching to Urshifu are very few because, do you remember the thing about Wicked Blow, how it always lands a critical hit? That ignores my attack drops. So my opponent does have 3 Intimidate users, which you might think, you're bringing an Urshifu versus 3 Intimidate users? Why not just bring all your special attackers? No. I am just bringing, like, Wicked Blows, Close Combat, Sucker, and Ice Punch, just in case his team is, like, a lot faster than mine. I mean, I am the Choice Scarf, so I can outspeed most things. And with the Jolly nature, just, you know... I'm going to be clicking Wicked Blow. Like, what else is Urshifu for? It's there to click Wicked Blow and just, like, bamboozle everything. Yeah, it's an Urshifu. It's broken. It did so well for me last game. It's been doing... I think it's my most valuable MVP of the season so far, and let's keep that trend up. Speaking of things, I have a Corviknight. Now, this Corviknight, I'm rocking a Roost Defog, U-turn Bravebird. I don't want my opponent to hazard stack on me. Even though I want my rocks up, I'd much rather have no hazards on the field and hazards on both of our sides because, you know, my opponent's got the Quillfish with the spikes, the Landorus with the rocks, the other things with the other stuff like Metagross. Does Quillfish also get T-Spikes? I should probably know that. I'm a Pokemon master. I've been playing this game for over 20 years, but I don't know if Quillfish gets T-Spikes. Please don't tell me I'm bad. I have the ability Mirror Armor. My opponent has 3 Intimidate users. I bet all 3 are coming. But they're going to be getting attack drops, not me. So Corviknight, it's going to, I also got the lefties. It's going to be interesting the way that I rock this thing. Yeah, I'm going to be switching into a lot of things, like, unless Lando is something like Sword Stance Stone Edge critical hit boosting item, I think I can switch into that pretty safely. I can switch into the Zarude. I cannot switch into the Rotom Wash or Arcanine. I can probably switch. Corv is just like whatever Swampert doesn't like Corviknight does. It's a fantastic Pokemon that just doesn't die. And especially like I can just flip flat Brave Bird bye a lot of things, especially things that it's like, oh, I'm gonna lower your attack. Joke's on you. I'm gonna do it right back at you. If my opponent does in fact bring those Intimidate users. And last but certainly not least is yet another thing that is designed to kill Landorus. So Galaxy Brain is bringing a Galaxy Brain set. Thanks Zane for recommending that I bring the Shuka Berry, because sometimes I forget those damage reducing items exist. So Shuka Berry, my defensive investment on EQ is doing like, I don't know, 50%. I can hit it with Ice Beam and slack off the damage and get regen. I'm regen, right? Sludge Bomb, Future Sight. Cool, it's a Slowking. It switches into things. It does a lot of damage back. I like this Pokemon. I don't know what else to say. I'm kind of awkward with team builders when they get towards the end, because I know none of you are watching. And for the 0.02 of you that are, I promised that I would start leaving secrets at the end of team builders. And the secret this time is, you look nice today. Anyway, let's stop being that and instead start playing the battle. Let's turn that on. Let's turn this off. Let's see what my opponent decides to bring. I predict a few things are going to show up, like the Intimidate users, like Arcanine. That's one of the Intimidate users. I already said that. Zarude could be an interesting bring to not let Slowking just go completely green eggs and ham with the Future Sight using. What else is my opponent? Oh yeah, Rotom Wash can be just like really weird and annoying and bad and just Noivern could be a possibility. Like, it's outspeeds my entire team minus Regieleki, but a Scarfer will outspeed Regieleki, but I don't. So yeah, let's. I'm gonna pause my recording real quick, see what sticks that he brought, and there are in fact an Arcanine, a Kyurem, Quillfish, Landorus, Zarude, and Rotom. So. Remember what I said about how switches to choice specs, Kyurem, Rockin', Draco, and Freeze Dry, they don't exist? Well, I don't know what I'm going to do about the thing. The Intimidate users I can kind of deal with. Rotom's just going to be annoying, and hopefully, like, I can switch Swampert in on the Volt switches and just gauge damage in general, see what Slowking can do back to it. Hopefully Urshifu can kill it after there's some chip, but this is going to be... yeah, interesting. So my first job is to lead Swampert so I can get up my Stealth Rocks. My second job is going to be to do damage to everything and then win. So pretty simple game plan. Get up rocks. Do damage. Win. Oh yeah, I unpause this, right? Yeah. So I'm going to click step 1 right here. Come on, click the button past Drago. You know you can do it. Yeah, you know you can do it. So Rocky Helmet is looking a little bit extraneous on this thing, especially because one of his physical attackers, Zarudo, I don't want to switch into that thing at all. A Leaf Blade or Wood Hammer or whatever that thing gets. I'm not living it. Going to be switching into the Lando, going to be switching into the probably Arcanine. Like, I can KO back with the flip turn, scare the Arcanine out, go for flip turn, get momentum. I'm going to be doing a lot of momentum grabbing this game, hopefully with Swampert. So let's see what my opponent wants to lead. Hopefully I can just get up my rocks and not worry about anything else. as we see from the trainer cards splash screen, and once this black screen goes away, we see that I am, in fact, the better dressed trainer. So I am now, like, what is it, 5-0 in that regard? Like, no one can even, like, hold a candle to how fashionable my trainer is. So that's great. So I see Rotom in here, a Hydro Pump, unless, if it's like a Specs Hydro Pump, it might be able to 2-hit KO me, but I'm just going to get up my rocks and then flip on turn out of there, which is going to be great. His removal this game is just this Rotom. Oh no, Landorus also gets Defog now, but he goes for the Toxic. So I know a couple things based on that. Number one, you're not choiced. Well, yeah, that's about it. I've been saying a lot. Does that mean I'm nervous? I'm nervous about this game. Help me. So I got my rocks. That's wonderful and lovely, and I take some poison damage. That's not a big deal. Hopefully my opponent goes for a Hydro Pump right here or switches, but either way, I'm going to get some great momentum going for a slow flip turn. I know I'm slower than this thing. That's by design. While we wait to see what my opponent wants to do, maybe goes into the Zarude. I would go into the Corv on that thing, maybe into the Lando. That's probably a bad play. Yeah, I only really see either Quillfish or Zarude coming onto my Swampert. And if I can get a flip turn on those things, hey look, there's a Zarude. I've got decent switches. So, like I said, this thing takes rocks. I don't see Zarude being a boots user at all anyway. I could go for the offensive play right here and go for my Tauros, but I don't know if this thing is a Scarfer or not just yet. It could be a good Scarfer for outspeeding the Urshifu, so I figure it probably can't really touch my Corviknight, and I can go for both U-Turn and Brave Bird for massive damage, and also get a sense of what kind of damage this thing is doing to me. So I see the lefties. I was like, oh man, if I had gone into Tauros right there, I could have just started clicking some big old body slam buttons, channel my inner Shayquaza by going for button clicking, but instead I go for the defensive play. I see that Brave Bird is doing a chunk. I see that U-Turn is doing a chunk. I don't even have any damage to roost off, so Corviknight is just free to... Like, do you see a Zarude staying in on a Corviknight? Do you see any downside for me going for a U-Turn right here? Especially now that I know if he does stay in, goes for an attack, well, I've just got a, big old Tauros to come in and do Tauros things. Also, Urshifu is faster, but I don't know if I want to reveal that I'm Scarf just yet. Depending on, it's like, oh, I go for the Scarf move, and oh no, you just switched into a Landorus, and, well, yeah, speaking of things, so Arcanine comes in, but guess what? Guess what? Your attack is lowered. I'm so glad that this tech, came in handy. As I go for a U-Turn right here, that Arcanine did not take rocks damage, so I know that that thing is boots. So it could be a more defensive Arcanine, could just be like boots, 3 attacks, Morning Sun, something like that. So I see that, what's a good switch into an Arcanine? Swampert's a pretty good switch into an Arcanine, right? Also, given that it didn't take rocks damage, that's less of a reason for me to need to keep them up in the long term. If my opponent does decide to get some spikes up with Quillfish, we all know how much I hate spikes. I dread thinking about spikes all the time. So given that I am in with Swampert, I don't see a real reason for those Arcanine to want to stay in on me. I can go for an EQ and just bop it. I can go for a flip turn and just close to bop it. And I just completely forgot what button I pressed right there. But either way, I'm pretty sure my opponent is switching out. I don't think I clicked EQ just because of the Lando play being a possibility there. But then I just click Avalanche after the fact. So Zarude comes in. I flip on turn right out of there. I think this is the second time we've done this exchange. And now I go back into Corv. If he wants to bring the Arcanine in on Corv, he has to lower his attack, which means a Flare Blitz is not doing a whole lot, if I'm being real about that. So I think about Bear Force 1, but it's like, again, don't really want to reveal my Scarf right away. Make him think that I'm thinking about things that we're thinking about. And the Corviknight is just a better play here anyway. Or I could Tauros. Did I Tauros just? No, I didn't Tauros just yet. Yeah, Corviknight is just a better play, especially because of how free a Brave Bird is looking right now. A Brave Bird is looking pretty great. His resist to it is Rotom, which I mean, yeah, Rotom's a good switch to Corv, but I could always, like, do the U-turn in and the Roost in and the Brave Bird in, and you can switch into the Swampert on a Rotom. Like, that's no big deal. Like, okay, fine, cool. I don't mind that at all. So I'm pretty sure I did click Brave Bird there, though, because I'm looking at the damage that Zarude has taken, and it's like, oh, that actually has a chance to kill. Because, yeah, Corviknight is just good. It's a bird. It's made of steel. It's just haha's everything. Lando takes a chunk from Brave Bird. Rotom, and not a whole lot, especially that it does seem more defensive there. Quillfish, like, I don't lower my attack from that, which is fantastic, but in comes a Landorus. So we see that the Landorus is going to take rocks. It's going to intimidate me. Its attack is going to get lowered, so really glad that attack's working out for me. And I can use this Brave Bird to just kind of see if this thing is defensive or not. It's not. So I take recoil damage, but he is leftovers. So I'm thinking he could go for the Stone Edge right here, maybe, but at -1 attack, it's not doing a lot. And I've got nothing to lose by going for a U-turn right here. Or I guess I could Roost because, like, oh, maybe you want to go for a Stone Edge right here, but I can just haha all that damage away. The Roost was more just to kind of see what he wants to go for. As he goes for the rocks in front of my Defogger, I don't want to defog him just yet. I'm more worried about the spike than anything else, honestly. Because the only thing that's weak to rocks on my team is... No, not you, not you, not you, not you, not you. No, nothing's weak to rocks on my team. And the most important thing is resistant to them, Urshifu. So I'm going to go for another Brave Bird because why not? I can. It's there. I could bop this Landorus right here, right now if I wanted to, and it would be fantastic for me. Did it take more than half last time? As my opponent does go for the U-turn, that's going to do like 6 damage. I forgot to put on my little, what do you call it, HP bar cheater McCheater face thing right there, but, you know. The battle had already started, and I don't want to, like, have that whole Elgato, like, you see all the sidebar stuff, and it's like, no, I would have rather just been like, you know what, I'm just going to do without the HP bar this time. So Quillfish comes in, takes rocks, intimidates me. I go right back at it. That is fantastic. As I go for another Brave Bird right here. Let's see how much damage this Quillfish wants to take. Okay, so that's a more defensive Quillfish. I take recoil damage, but that's more recoil on a defensive Quillfish than the Landorus did to me with U-turn. So you could want to go for a spike right here. He could want to go for like a big fat liquidation. I thought about, like, you know, maybe you're just going to get up a spike. I can defog that away. But my opponent does, in fact, go for the taunt right here. So good thing that I U-turned. I wouldn't have been able to defog right there. And now, if he does set up the spike, you can't just keep setting up spikes in front of my face. Next time I bring Corviknight in, I'll be able to defog the spikes away. I'm just assuming he's going for a spike right here. That he has one for free. And I'm looking at what can do damage to Quillfish, and it's like, well, Speedwagon, you can't come in yet. Landorus is still alive. So I decide, oh, Galaxy Brain can come in. I did take some rocks, but I get like way more than that back from Regen. As he reveals to be the Black Sludge. I probably already saw that before. I'm going to go for a Future Sight right here, because number 1, it'll scare out the Quillfish. Number 2, I know that in 2 turns, the Zarude has to come in. Nothing else wants to take a big fat Future Sight. It's a lot of damage to anything. And Zarude showing up on my doorstep is, how would you say, easy for me to get momentum. So I go for the Future Sight, as my opponent went for the Destiny Bond. So a Psychic or Psyshock would have taken that thing out, which would have brought my Slowking down. Which I would not have liked that at all. At all. That would have been like just bad. Really bad. So interesting to see the Destiny Bond right there. So Taunt, Destiny Bond, I'm assuming Spike, and maybe Liquidation. I don't know if he would want this Quillfish to just be a Taunt bait. Do I get anything that has Taunt? My Chandelure has Taunt, but that's about it. Maybe Corviknight gets it. I should know these things. I should know what moves my Pokemon get. So I go into Swampert right here. So he does in fact get up a spike, which is annoying for me. But since I know for a fact that next turn, like I mentioned, Future Sight forces in Zarude, I can flip turn right here onto Zarude and then defog them away. And that's fantastic. And all the while, I'm getting just like nice chip on everything. I'm getting, flip turn damage. My opponent's taking a fair amount of rocks, except on things like the only thing that hasn't hit the field is the Kyurem. And I think so far, I've only been in with Swampert, Corviknight, and Slowking did like one thing. So I flip turn, and hopefully he sees that a U-turn from Corviknight takes it out. Because that means I'm free to defog. Not that, like, if Zarude stayed in and attacked, not like it could do much to Corviknight. I'm chunky as heck. And, yeah, rock's cool, whatever. And the Future Sight doesn't do anything. See, I knew Zarude would be here to tank that. Because what else wants to? He probably doesn't want to take damage from his Kyurem. Arcanine, like, it's probably boots for a reason. Rotom, who knows? All I know right here is I don't want spikes to happen anymore, please. Yeah, so this Zarude should be fearing a U-turn. Like, yeah, U-turn kills at this range, which is fantastic. It does, like, I want to say minimum 51, depending on the spread. And Brave Bird is doing a little bit more than that. I really wish I remembered my glass of water because I'm thirsty. And I've been talking way too much. I'm normally not good at talking for more than I've been recording for 26 minutes already. I'm sorry this video is so long. But don't worry. My goal is to, like, wear down his defensive stuff. So, Arcanine hasn't taken a lot of damage. Zarude's taken a lot. Rotom's taken a fair bit. Landorus has taken a lot. Qwilfish taken a fair bit. It's looking better and better and better for just, like, Urshifu going haha and everything. So I am going to... Oh, am I going to Brave Bird this time? No, I'm going to U-turn this time. No, U-turn's the better play. Come on. U-turn's the better play. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to U-turn out of here. At +1 defense now, that's a rude one for a bulk up. So at +1 defense now, it might be able to tank some hits that I go for. So he reveals the Darkest Lariat. As that actually does quite a chunk to Corviknight. Wow. Just, ooh. That did a chunk. As he lives to U-turn. Shout out to having +1 defense, I suppose. So now I see an opportunity for TAUROS to come in and do TAUROS things. So TAUROS is a bull, which is great. It has 3 tails. It also has the Sheer Force ability and the Life Orb item. Body Slam does a just big damage to anything that comes in. Big damage Body Slam does. It's like looking at his like switches for Body Slam. Sure, he can like try to do some Intimidate swaps on me to get in something safe. Like, I don't know. You think Landorus is safe from my TAUROS? Well, it isn't, because I'm mixed just for that. I don't know. Maybe Qwilfish can do some things like take some damage and then Destiny Bond me away. So the Qwilfish does in fact come in. I'm going to see how much damage this now -1 Body Slam, but Sheer Force, Life Orb, that's like an extra, I don't know, it's 1.3 times 1.3, that's like an extra 70% that I get. So I'm just going to keep clicking Body Slam because why not? I can. I'm here. I thought to myself, oh, he might actually click Destiny Bond, but then I realized I'm faster if he does click it if he does live and click it this turn, then I can switch out, and I haven't actually seen him go for an attacking move just yet. Like, could try to get another spike, but Corviknight's still alive and well. Switches out into, I believe that is the Landorus, which is at half health. So I'm now at -2. Remember that. I've taken 2 Intimidates from TAUROS. -2. I go for the Body Slam. Look at that. Look at that. Look at how much damage I did. That was a lot of damage from a TAUROS. So I know that I can kill with a Body Slam. But just to be cheeky, I'm going to click my Ice Beam because I want... I'm really, really, really hoping that my opponent stays in right here. Not because I would be able to KO, but because I want to show off my tech. I want to show off, like, my TAUROS has Ice Beam because I'm a meme lord and I wanted to do the thing. And I also want to show you how desperate I am to KO Landorus, because if I do, I'm going to bring in Regieleki like immediately, and what? And what, Trogdor, and start just ha-haing the entire team. Imagine what Regieleki could do right now if Landorus goes down this turn. So my opponent's like thinking for a while, and I'm just like, oh my god, please stay in. Please just stay in. Please just stay in so I can click Ice Beam. I know that I kill with Body Slam, but again, it's because I want to show off my tech. It's because I want to like cement myself as a meme lord. He stays in, and I go for the Ice Beam, and I was so happy to see that happen, and it just goes down. So, win or lose, I'm glad that happened. My opponent's probably going to, I'm at -2 now. Quillfish might come in, make me go to -3. Rotom comes in instead. I'm going to go out into my Swampert, because Swampert is looking like the most extraneous member of my team. And hey, I could just go for another set of rocks. I could flip on right turn out of there. I could, I don't know. Yeah, Landorus went down. That was great. So my opponent clicks Hydro Pump. That does a chunk. After poison damage, like if he lands another Hydro Pump and poison damage taking me out, that's fine. I honestly at this point I'm just like, you know what, Swampert, cool. You just do your thing. Let Regieleki come in for free. Regieleki's got it from here. Just go on. But just in case, I'm gonna go for the flip turn. My opponent misses. That sucks. Again, I was just kind of sacking Swampert. It did its job. Well, if I clicked rocks right there, it would have mattered. But I wanted Swampert to die anyway, so I could get a Lecky in for free. And flip turn let me get a Lecky in for free. Because this Rotom dies to a Choice Specs Transistor Modest Max Special Attack Thunderbolt from Regieleki. This Rotom goes down. Quillfish goes down. Zarude goes down. Arcanine goes down. Kyurem might. Probably not. Kyurem's actually really bulky. Like, it has something like 100 something HP stat? No, over 100, because it can... it only needs like 64 to 120 HP investment to get substitutes. So the Rotom goes down because Lecky is amazing. It changed my mind. If you say Lecky is bad, you are wrong. Lecky is amazing. That just happened. Hopefully my opponent, Zarude comes in. I don't know why, because it makes me think that this Kyurem can't take a hit. Because Zarude came in right here, it makes me think like Aleki's just gonna win. Aleki's just gonna win. I'm just like, oh wow, am I actually gonna just like take out Lando and just clean up with the Choice Specs Transistor Thunderbolt Regieleki? It could happen. I go for the Thunderbolt, and the Zarude has no chance to survive Make Its Time. I mean, yeah, it resisted the Thunderbolt. It was at half health. And goodbye to Zarude. I'm up 6-3. I've seen weirder things happen, like, being down 2-5 and then a game turning around. So, this Kyurem right here, I'm looking at the calcs, and it probably can live a Thunderbolt. If this thing is Scarf, it doesn't outspeed me. But I don't have switch-ins to it. I could, go into Swampert, see what that wants to, see how Swampert dies. But at the same time, it's like, oh, if I can actually get some damage off, look at how much damage that, look at that. As my opponent goes for the Outrage. Sure as heck, Regieleki dies. And that Kyurem reveals to be Life Orb, so it is now below half. And it is forced to stay in, meaning I see no downside to just clicking Urshifu right now. Because the way I'm looking at things, Urshifu kills the Kyurem. It can kill the Quillfish. Wicked Blow ignores Intimidate. And I can just do a chunk to Arcanine. So I think I kind of have the game here. But remember what I've said about being down at 2-5 and things being able to turn around. Well, I'm up 5-2, and I think like this 2-5 is the make or break point. So I believe that Intimidate is just like an, oh no, Urshifu is about to Raffle Stomp me. I need to get it at -2, but at the same time it's Wicked Blow, it crits, it's broken, it ignores Intimidate, it ignores screens, it ignores defense boosts, and Urshifu is just going haha on everything. Yeah, Quillfish goes down. That was, yeah, okay, cool. I'm, glad to see Urshifu just, well, it's broken. What do I expect? Now, it is Arcanine versus the world. Arcanine can do serious damage to my Corviknight. It can do serious damage to my Slowking. I'm pretty sure my Swampert is low. But Tauros has speeds. But you know what? Might be able to live the Wicked Blow. And a shout out to assholes driving in my neighborhood and making their cars sound like they explode all the time. Someone's going to crash one day. Now, there was a big crash like a year ago. So the Arcanine did, in fact, live that crit and goes for the Play Rough. I thought, you know what? I could have seen that play happen and saved my Urshifu or saved the differential, but you know what? Give another kill to Tauros. Tauros did the finest of job this game, and it deserves another kill. So unless he is like some extra special sauce, Body Slam will kill here. Tauros gets the final KO versus the Arcanine. And, whoops, wrong Pokemon. And we come out with a 4-0 win. So, great game to my opponent, of course. That was a fun game. I liked Regieleki being pretty great. 2 kills for Tauros, 2 kills for Urshifu, and 2 kills for Aleki. So, now that the battle is over, I want to talk about I made some trades. So my team is going to be changing. I was approached, I was asked by my good friend Danny in the league. We actually just played in a PTL, but he completely steamrolled me in PTL, and he's been doing equally good in this league. But he was like, Raiku's up for trade, and I was like, yes. I want to offload Regieleki. Because this happened before this game got played, and I was like, oh, I need to offload Regieleki. So, in order to make that exchange happen, I also let go my Chandelure. You did well, thank you, goodbye, fantastic, whatever, etc. And Yamper, because it was never part of my team anyway, it was just 1 point. Having a meme is a better store of value than a single point on a team, just because. How many times have I said this time? I let go Regieleki, Chandelure, and Yamper, and in exchange, I picked up. So it was an interesting thing. So it's we made the trade, right? And then we both made some free agents immediately after, because neither of us quite wanted everything that we had for trade, but then saw I really wanted Raikou and my opponent really wanted Chandelure, so we had a couple catalysts in there to make it happen. So in the end, I got the Raikou as well as a Mantine, which I dropped immediately, and I picked up a couple other interesting things. I got Magmortar, which will be fun to use, and Haunter. So, farewell, Regieleki. You did great, and I'll miss you forever. Farewell, Chandelure. You kind of blundered week 1, but that's okay because it's we weren't expecting to win that one anyway. And Yamper, you're a good boy. Many pets. And welcome, Raikou. It's a shame that I don't play mid Pokemaster. Otherwise, it's a guaranteed 6-0. Welcome, Magmortar. It's going to be an interesting Pokemon to use. It's but you slap a choice specs on that thing and it just goes haha. And I've used Haunter before. It's fun. It's a nice speed tier, and I just think overall my team's just better, more well-rounded, cool stuff like that. So anyway, that's it for me this week. I'll see you next week for the battle. We are battling another person in the UPBA, and we might see a couple debuts that game, or we might just see Urshifu just going ha on everything like it normally does. Anyway, that's all for me. Thanks for watching all to the end, all 39 minutes of this. I'm sorry. All right, take care now. Bye-bye.